Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Onslaught has been out for close to 2 months now, so most players have had a good chance to get a really good feel of the game. But there are a few things that could be added to the game or improved on the current systems just to get a better experience out of the game, and also a little bit more content so we can spend a little bit longer in game and also get a few extra rewards along the way. So I've put together my top 10 improvements and features that I'd like to see added to the game. I also want to hear from you guys in the comments below whether you agree with my top 10, things that you would also like to see. But let's get straight into it. And this is my number 10. And I'm going to kick it off with something that I know all of you guys are going to agree with me on. And that is this ridiculous 24-hour cooldown on our daily rewards. It's unrealistic to think that everyone can always log in at the same time every day to collect that reward just as it ticks over that 24 hours. So why not just make it available at the daily refresh? That way it doesn't matter what time you're able to log in, you'll always be able to get those rewards. It's not like they're game breaking or anything, it's just something that everyone should be entitled to as soon as they're able to log into the game for the day. But moving right along to number 9, and that's the upgrade system for our relics and our gear. Now, both of these should be able to be upgraded in the same way, but for some reason they've adopted two different systems. For our gear, we can apply as much gear as we want at one time while we're doing the upgrade, but we don't have exclusive XP for our gear, where on our relics we do have that XP to upgrade, especially for those higher levels. That can be a really big help, but we have to do it 6 at a time. When you get to those higher levels, it takes so long to upgrade those relics, and sometimes you just want to see if you do have enough XP to get to that next level without having to spend it all. Why not just allow us to put as much XP on there as we want to and then do our upgrade? Then for our gear, it would be really good if we could get some gear XP, especially to help us out with some of those higher levels that can take a huge amount of our gear just to do those upgrades. We don't really get enough gear in the game to be able to just use it all for those upgrades, so it'd be nice to have that same system as the relics. Coming in at the number 8 slot, this one's a pretty simple one, but I think it would help out a lot of players, especially if you are free to play, and that is just having some daily specials in the store. Now, whether they pick a different store each day, and you could have things like in your event store, for example, maybe the XP is going to be a little bit cheaper one day, maybe you've got gold, maybe you've got some gear pieces in some of the other stores. Just something that can allow us on different days to be able to manage our resources a little bit better and pick up some really good deals. And yes, I am referring to in-game resources, not the monetized packs that you can get. However, having some specials on that may be great for some of those players that wouldn't mind spending $5 or $10 here and there. Maybe there could be a nice little gear pack or something like that that you can pick up for $5 or $10. That would be really good. It could also help the developers in just getting a little bit more money into the game. Moving on to the number 7 position, and I want to talk a little bit about summoning, because everybody plays these types of games for the collection. But as we know, trying to get these 5-star characters is so difficult to do in this game. I've been playing since the beta back in mid-August. That's when I got my first 5-star character from the tutorial, the very first summon when they give you the freebie. I only got my second 5-star character just 2 days ago, and that was from the Body and Soul special packs that they had, where they had increased odds on getting some of those characters. So I was lucky enough to get a 5-star character there. But just in general, I would like to see a system very similar to our featured fighters that we spend the blue orbs on, where after 80 attempts you are guaranteed to get that fighter. They could adapt that into some of the other areas for the green orbs. Maybe the magic number could be 100 pulls. So after 80 though, you could start getting better odds on some of the 5-star characters. And then if you still don't have a 5-star character by the time you hit 100, then you'll be able to get that one guaranteed. If you do manage to get one earlier than that, then the count resets and you have to go through another 100. But at least you know that every 100 attempts, you're guaranteed to get that 5-star character. Now moving on to number 6, and the next few are going to be some game modes that I would really love to see, starting with some limited time events for exclusive characters. Now I know that we do have the Chronicles at the moment that they're bringing out every 3 weeks and introducing a brand new 5-star character for us, but what I mean is an event where we're going to be able to unlock that character by the end of it. Now this could be an event that you have to grind out over, say, the course of a weekend, or maybe even something that you have to beat particular battles in order to progress. But it would just be really good to have that goal at the very end, knowing that if you do complete it, you're going to be able to add a really good character to your roster. Now they could even take this a little step further and add bonus difficulty levels to it, where maybe we could unlock an exclusive relic for that character, or even other copies of that character so that we can build up that combo meter a little bit. I'm sure that they'll be able to find ways to monetize that event as well, but as long as it gives free-to-play players that opportunity to maybe unlock that 5-star character if they've already done a lot of the groundwork on some of the other characters in their roster. And that leads me to number 5 in our countdown, and that's a multi-squad PvP arena. Now I don't mind arena the way that it is because it does allow you to find other opponents that might not be as strong, so you do have opportunities to actually win and progress up the ladder. But as we build more characters in our game, we want opportunities to use those characters, and a multi-squad PvP is the perfect way to do that. It's not only going to give us more crystal rewards, but it's also going to give us more arena tokens, so that way we can get some of those more expensive items in the arena store, such as those master and legendary tomes. Some of the items in that store, you could save up your tokens for the entire season and still not have enough to be able to purchase some of those items. So having a second arena option is just going to help build those tokens up and allow us to develop those characters a lot faster. Now coming in at number 4, I would love to see a Gauntlet style game mode. Something where it's just wave after wave of enemies, and the longer you survive, the better the rewards are that you can get. This is a great way for players to really test out their squads, try a few different combinations, and it will not only encourage players to really develop those characters, but the further along that they can get, they're going to get those reward resources that they can put back into their roster and then try and get a little bit further down the gauntlet the next time. This could be something that refreshes every day. You only get one attempt just to see how far you can get to take those rewards. But the type of enemy could also change up, so that way there isn't really a meta team that you can use in that mode. You're going to have to try different combinations depending on the enemies that you face. Diving now into our top 3, and I do have one more game mode that really shows us that this is Mortal Kombat, and that is a Towers mode. I really like the way that the last few Mortal Kombat games have had those towers of time, so things that will change constantly. You'll have different requirements, different challenges, and you could maybe even bring in a 1v1 or 2v2 mode as well, and going all the way up to 4v4. I just think this would be a really good way to make sure that we connect Onslaught to the main Mortal Kombat games that we've grown up and we really love. Another thing that is really going to connect us to those games comes in our number 2 position, and that is finishing moves. I know that we do have a few of the relics that do have fatalities connected to them, and we do kind of have a brutality system along the way. Sometimes you do manage to explode your opposition's head. But what about friendships, babalities, even the one that people have been asking for so long, which is animalities? You could even add a mercy system in the arena, so that way if you do still beat your opponent, you might get some extra points to climb the ladder a little bit higher. The finishing moves just add that little bit more nostalgia, a little bit more entertainment value, and nothing feels like MK more than a really good finishing move. And if you've made it this far into the video, thank you very much. But coming in the number 1 position is Cassie Cage.
What in tarnation?
Of course, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't make you hang around for this long just to throw Cassie Cage at you. I know you'd all want to be performing your favorite fatalities on me if that was the case. No, the number 1 thing that I would love to see in this game is factions. The one thing this game is really missing is the social aspect. Most mobile games do have some kind of feature where you form a guild or alliance, and that way you can bring all your friends in, you can play various modes alongside them, even eventually bringing in modes that do require factions to work together to achieve a purpose. It really opens the door for things like raids and heists and things like that, but it also allows players to interact and discuss different characters and strategies that they're using to get through different challenges. But it's also a lot more fun to play with a group of people rather than just logging in, doing a few things, then having to go and play a different game because there's nothing left to do, no one to even chat with. But that's my top 10, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you'd like to support the channel, a super thanks would be very much appreciated. Other than that, like and sub, you know the deal. We got plenty more Onslaught coming your way. Don't miss out, and we'll catch you in the next one.